Today's 10 days since Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau sought to link the killing of Canadian Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Nijjar to an Indian action. And now, after 10 days of what has been, by all accounts, a global humbling of Trudeau and his supporters, he had this to say at a press conference yesterday. He said, India is a growing economic power and important geopolitical player, and as we presented our Indo-Pacific strategy just last year, we're very serious about building closer ties with India. At the same time, obviously, as a rule of law country, we need to emphasize that India needs to work with Canada to ensure that we get the full facts of this matter, unquote. The matter, of course, he's referring to the allegations that he's leveled. You notice, viewer, a visible softening of Trudeau's stance, a toning down of rhetoric and a decision to stop directly referring to this so-called evidence he has against India, which has opened him to limitless ridicule across the international spectrum for 10 agonizingly long days. It's easy to simplistically see this as a chastised Trudeau falling in line and realizing that it's best to gradually back away from the allegations he leveled 10 days ago. But nothing is ever that simple. There's no backing away from what Trudeau said, viewer. Because while the India-Canada face-off will necessarily have to play itself out, since such things can't be simply brushed under the carpet, Trudeau has actually achieved something much bigger than just this immediate Indo-Canadian acrimony. And this is my view. He's woken up an entire generation of Indians to the much larger and much more insidious reality of how, despite Khalistani sentiment enjoying zero resonance here in India, or indeed by the overwhelming parts of the global Sikh community, the big English-speaking countries, the West, US, Canada, Australia and the UK, continue to not only accommodate Khalistani terrorists, but also actively protect those that preach secessionism from India. In a terrific, thought-provoking column today by one of India's most well-regarded strategic thinkers, Brahma Chelani, he writes today in that column, "Today, by continuing to shield dangerous Khalistani terrorists or extremists, the Anglosphere countries are imperiling Indian interests and security. It is as if some Western governments wish to employ the Khalistan card as political leverage against India. Allowing provocations from the Khalistani diaspora in the Anglosphere to go unchecked could even impinge on the interests of Sikhs in India by affecting the traditionally harmonious Hindu-Sikh relations and close bonds." Chelani goes on to write in this column, "Oddly, in shielding leading Khalistanis, Western intelligence services are implicitly aiding Pakistan's efforts to destabilize India. Pakistan's rogue inter-services intelligence agency, the ISI, has actively aided the Khalistan movement, including facilitating military training," is what Brahma Chelani writes in this column, which I urge everyone to read. The immediate acrimony over Hardeep Nijjar, the allegations over his killing, will take their course. Make no mistake about that. For the moment, India has stood its ground, seeing Trudeau's campaign as an inflection point, an opportunity to affirm and flex India's zero-tolerance foreign policy towards diplomatic slights, especially when they impinge on India's national security. Considering that these same groups have targeted Indian high commissions and consulates throughout this year, whether it is in the UK or Toronto or San Francisco, this is something that has galvanized India against softening its stand. And this, in my view, surprised the Anglosphere, the English-speaking West, catching it off guard even perhaps. A new India waking up to this somewhat well-hidden reality is the true achievement, the true fallout of what Justin Trudeau has actually triggered. Millions of young Indians learning that the aspirational West has this dark hidden layer that harms Indian security. Learning that thus far innocuous Canada does things that result in real violence in Punjab. This is what Justin Trudeau has achieved, viewer. And in my view, we should be thankful even at some level. So I'll end today by saying exactly that. Thank you, Prime Minister Trudeau.